Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry, there's a bunch of stuff in my hammock. Today we are going to be just doing a little bit of a reading update. I recently read Circe and I want to talk about it because, as usual, I have some opinions. So sorry also that this is posted very late on Sunday. I'm literally filming it and then we'll just upload it real fast because I've been a little all over the place with my uploading schedule. I think you guys can tell, but I'm doing my best to get a video out each week. This week's dilemma was that my camera that I normally film on is totally full of videos because I was recently on a trip, which hopefully I'll be able to put together in a cohesive format because I have a little bit too many videos right now to just do that and post it. But yeah, so that's why we're on my phone today, and I hope the quality is not as bad. Honestly, it's probably better. But yeah, so let's just get right on into it. So I read Circe. I have thoughts. Hold on, I should probably go get it. I'm so unprepared. Okay, got the book. So even though there's a bookmark in the middle of it, I did finish this. It took me, let's just start off. It took me a long time, literally way longer than it should have, a month, if not more. And that is for the simple reason that I hate to say it, but I just could not get into this book, guys. I don't know what it is about it that I couldn't get into it, but literally I just could not. So let's just talk a little bit about it. Basically, it's the origin story, if you haven't already heard of it. It's super famous, I'm sure you have, of Circe and how she gets exiled to an island, and then her life, her son, etc., etc. And basically the whole thing is just a struggle of her with her divinity, because she she gets along better with mortals than she does gods, which is a huge part of her character. But yeah, so it's just kind of about her finding her place in the world where she belongs, and there's a lot of references to Greek myths. And so honestly, let me just give you my background, because I think it's definitely something. I can't honestly say who I think would like it. I think if you're a bit older and maybe you've had kids, I think you'd like it a bit more, because I know for a fact I had a teacher that I talked to about this book, and she's like, it's so relatable, the child, whatever, the struggles of her with her child. And yeah, so that's a whole thing. I guess the child is kind of a spoiler. I'm not going to try not to be doing too many spoilers until the end, where I'll probably just go off about what I think of it. But yeah, I think if you're older, maybe you'd like this a bit more. I think maybe I was a bit too young and it went a little bit over my head. And honestly, I am a huge Greek myths fan, though. I'm a Percy Jackson kid. I was a Percy Jackson kid. So I wasn't as in the dark about Greek myths as I know some people reading it have been. But I think, honestly, knowing about the myths made it a little bit less, of an interesting plot line, because the second they mentioned names, Odysseus, Pasiphae, I think that's how you say her name, I was like, I know what's going to happen already. So, honestly, even though these books are usually recommended for fans of, Greek, whatever, you know what I mean, ancient Greek history, events, myths, Greek myths. Yeah, fans of Greek myths. Honestly, I think maybe you'd even like it better if you didn't know Greek myths, or at least the background of the Greek myths, because I knew the background of them, it almost made it harder for me to read. I can't speak today. It almost made it harder for me to read because I already knew it was going to happen, because I already knew the background. So that's probably the type of person I'd recommend it to, just maybe a bit older than me. You don't have to have a knowledge of Greek myths. In fact, in my opinion, I think it would be better if you don't. And yeah, that's it. So real quick, let's talk about what I liked about it. I liked her writing style. Her writing style was great, but herein lies a problem for me. She's such a good writer, and she did such a good job of making you believe in Circe's divinity, because remember, Circe is a minor goddess, and she just did such a good job of laying out her life over a period of time, and just making it feel like this endless stretch of reality, how it feels to be an immortal. And it was very well written, that part of it. It literally made you feel like it was real, but also that well-written aspect of her immortality was also my qualm with this book, because she is so untouchable, so immortal, so well written as this immortal goddess, that it was very, very hard for me to sympathize with her as a main character. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm maybe I just don't get it. But the strength of this book for me was also the reason why I couldn't get into it at all. She writes Circe so well, but it's so well that I'm not saying you, but I could not even begin to relate to her as a main character, because she was just this untouchable goddess, and it was written so well that you just believed it. But because she was like that, I literally just could not bring myself to root for her. And that was my main qualm with the book. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll spoil anything for you guys. Like, if you liked that description, if you think that won't be a problem for you, then I definitely recommend checking it out, because it is very well acclaimed. I mean, it's by the author of The Song of Achilles, Madeline Miller. She's very, like I said, a good writer. But unfortunately, in my case, her strong suit of this book was what kind of made it such a hard read for me. Excuse me. I have the hiccups. Also, I did not voluntarily do this to this sweatshirt. It literally looks decrepit. My mother did. Anyway, so yeah, that's Circe. Definitely, I've had kind of a bad streak of what I've been reading lately. Not bad as in the books are bad, but just like not things I'm super into, which I'm hoping to get out of soon, but unfortunately I'm not yet. And that brings me to the reading update part of this video, which is what I'm reading right now. How do I even explain this one? Okay, so let's just talk. So I was in Scotland. I was visiting St. Andrews, which was an insane experience. Oh my God, I'm in love with it there, the university, everything. And so we go into Waterstones, which is like the bookstore. It's like the Barnes & Noble of the United Kingdom. It's everywhere. So we go in, right? And I'm like, oh, I want to learn about this, like Scottish history. Cool, because St. Andrews is a super historic place. There's a cathedral there that was built in like the 1100s that we got to like see and walk by, and it was just amazing. But anyway, so I go and I'm looking for this book, right? And so I read the back of it, right? It says, a tight, brisk account. Brisk is in fast, right? So I'm like, okay, even though this book looks a little beefy, hopefully it'll get the point across, and I would really like to learn about it, because St. Andrews was just a fascinating place for me in Scotland and the UK in general. I would just like to get a book on Scotland, because I feel like I don't know as much about it as I do, like the England part of it, So I got this book. I've been reading it for... Ooh, there's a ladybug. That scared me. I've been reading it for a week or two, and I'm on page 144 out of 700. And guys, it's not looking promising for this one. I'm sorry. I'm not someone that likes to quit books, and I'm not going to quit it. I'm going to keep reading it for at least another week. But if by the end of that week I'm still not progressing or liking it, or it's not interesting, then I might just have to pull a do not finish on this book. My sister walked in. But yeah, so let me just tell you a little bit about it. So I'm only on page 144. Not much has happened, to be completely honest with you. So the first little bit of it, I started reading it and I was like, oh, so this is what I'm in for, not a brisk account. So literally the first chapter is about the actual formation of Scotland, not the formation as in the humans creating governments, as in the literal... the geographic science behind the formation of the UK as an island and Scotland and its geographical features. And like, okay, I guess I get it, but like, it was a really long intro chapter, and I was like, oh my God, what am I in for with this book? Like, have I made a terrible mistake? And honestly, the jury's still out on if I have or not. But yeah, so we do the whole geographical formation, which I really wanted to know. That's sarcasm. The point is not that this is a bad book. It is clearly very well researched, but I was clearly naive because I believed, like the reviews on the back, and I was like, oh, this will be good. Like it'll just be long because there's a lot to say. But no, it's long because the first chapter was literally on the geographical formation of Scotland. So yeah, that's basically the book. Then it kind of goes into like the hunter-gatherers period of Scotland, and then it goes into like the Picts, like the kingdom. So it's kind of getting into like medieval stuff, and right now it's just starting to actually get into medieval stuff with like it was just talking about Macbeth, I think, and his death. So I'm hoping that the pace and just tone of this book becomes more interesting and picks up once I reach the the actual like more medieval you know what I mean, like the period of Scotland where it's like kings, queens, Mary Queen of Scots, who I really wanted to, like, you know, see in this book, and I'm sure I will later, but I'm really hoping it picks up. That's where I am right now. That's what I'm reading, and it's really, guys, I do not have the utmost confidence in this book, but I am not someone who likes to quit books, and I will read it until it actually drives me crazy, and I'm really hoping it'll pick up. So yeah, that's my reading update for now. I really thank you guys for watching this video if you're still here at this point. But yeah, hopefully I will make some progress on this book, and I'll be back soon with some new reading related content. And also, sorry this is posted so late on a Sunday. All right, thanks guys, bye.